WeTransfer is a file sharing service I'm sure quite a few of you are familiar with. I personally have never really used it much due to the time limitations it sets on files. I've always found that a bit annoying, but a lot of people use it. They've recently updated their terms of service and it's had quite a few people concerned. Some of the changes they've added include copy, use, modify, distribute, display, and perform your content, which, let's be honest, that's not really that weird for a file sharing service. I mean, it could be a little concerning, I guess, but you know, you're going to be copying, using, modifying, distributing, and displaying and performing the content, or it would be if it allows you to play it on the platform. Whatever, it's not that weird, is my point. Create derivative works from your content. Okay, we're getting a little weirder here for sure. I'm not sure why you'd need to create derivative works of my content. That means you're going to copy it and change it. Why would you need to copy it and change it? Definitely strange. The ability to transfer and or sub-license your work to others indefinitely. All right, this is getting weirder and weirder for sure. I mean, maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. Okay. Use it to train machine learning models. Okay, all right. Who do you think you are? SoundCloud? It's really strange how often this is happening now. I'll get into like some theories here in a minute. Use your content to commercialize and develop new technologies or services. So yeah, it does sound kind of suspicious on its face. What the fuck would they need to train something for on a file sharing service? That's what I want to know. Like, I'm like jokingly making excuses for them here, but like genuinely, what kind of new services and technologies do they need to make with a file sharing service? My theory is they want to train things to sell. I'm not talking about content, I'm talking about like technology. They want to develop AI services that they can sell and profit from off of your content. That's what I think. Another thing I want to add in here, why would they change their terms of service just based on the possibility of them doing it? And then you will not be entitled to any compensation for any use of content by us under these terms. So yeah, definitely some pretty concerning stuff there. So a lot of people were speculating that they wanted to train some sort of AI off of your content, you know, potentially image AI, music AI, stuff like that. That's generally what people are worried about. And I personally think it's a bit different than that. So they have responded. We'll get to that in a minute. But let me get into some theories here first. What I do think is, since WeTransfer is something that you can use free, they're trying to make money off of it. And what way to do that these days? Trading AI in order to make services to sell off to other people or to utilize yourself and charge money for. Now, you know, it is true what they say, nothing is ever really free, and this is a great example of that. It's free on the surface, but you're paying in other ways, usually with data. In these cases, these days, it seems to be more like machine learning training. So I do think going forward, this is something you should be more concerned about with the platforms you use. And it may be a good reason, depending on what you do and how concerned you are about your data or your likeness or your art likeness or whatever, to consider paying for things that will not be selling out your data or likeness. This is honestly more concerning to me than, like, I know people are always freaking out about data, like, oh, they're going to take your data. I'm not even really worried about the data. I've never really been that worried about data too much. I'm more so worried about the AI training shit. Okay, so WeTransfer did respond. Let's see what they have to say here. They got some explaining to do for sure. So apparently WeTransfer states that files are not used to train AI after backlash. I think they're fucking lying. Why would you change your terms of service to state that they can use it to train machine learning models? Unless they're using some sort of clever wording here to dodge accountability. That sounds like a lie. Someone from WeTransfer told BBC News, "We don't use machine learning or any form of AI to process content shared via WeTransfer, nor do we sell content or data to any third parties." I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think they're being very specific with their wording here. They stated they don't use machine learning, and they stated they don't use any form of AI to process content. But they didn't state that they are not using it to train machine learning, which is what they did state in the terms of service. They're also saying they do not sell content or data to any third parties. And they're saying they're not doing it currently, but they could be using it to train something of their own. I don't even know if this is like really conspiratorial, because they're the ones like putting this information out there, you know, in their own terms of service that is conflicting, somewhat conflicting with what they're saying. So I don't even know if it's really conspiratorial to be worried about this kind of stuff. So they have stated that they've made the terms easier to understand to avoid confusion. I kind of feel like they're just backtracking. Like they want to see if they could just slide this in there and get away with it. That's what I think, at least. Let's look at the updated terms though. A license of WeTransfer in order to allow us to operate, provide you with, and improve the service and our technology technologies, we must obtain from you certain rights related to content that is covered by intellectual property rights. You hereby grant us a royalty-free license to use your content for the purposes of operating, developing, and improving the service, all in accordance with our privacy and cookie policy. I mean, I'm not fucking stupid, dude. This is not a matter of making it easier to understand. They full on changed like what they said they could do here completely. Like they basically were like, we can use it for machine learning, right? And we don't have to pay you anything, and we can do this forever. And then all of a sudden they're just like, well, never mind all that stuff. You're misunderstanding it. So they stated that the clause was initially added to include the possibility of using AI to improve content moderation and to identify harmful content. That does seem plausible. I don't know though. I don't know. It's way too sketchy. Another thing I want to add in here, why would they change their terms of service just based on the possibility of them using it? I'm also a little questionable on how they'd even achieve this. I mean, I'm guessing maybe they had a plan. The terms had said WeTransfer could use content for purposes including to improve performance of machine learning models and enhance our content moderation process. That is incorrect. The way they worded it makes it seem like it is one of several things that they plan to do. They also included the right for WeTransfer to reproduce, distribute, modify, or publicly display files uploaded to the service. That's normal. What about the derivative works part? They conveniently have left that out for some reason. There are a few possibilities here. One is that they're telling the truth and they are just trying to train content in order to help identify harmful content and improve moderation going forward. That is possible, but if that is the case, why did they word it in such an open-ended way? And I know it's common to word things in an open-ended way in terms of service, but it was very open-ended. And the way they worded it would have allowed them to train a bunch of different things. It's really weird, and I'm personally not buying it. I believe they stated they haven't built the tools yet, though, for it. And maybe they're trying to collect things ahead of time because it does take a lot of content in order to do something like that. Or, they wanted it open-ended to do whatever they want with it, create services. I mean, they could even like monetize the whole moderation thing and sell it to other platforms. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Very strange for sure. It's something that's becoming more and more common. I remember we talked about this with SoundCloud at least a few months ago. And yeah, I don't know. It's concerning for sure. Definitely something to keep in mind. Like I said, with free services, you're usually paying in some capacity. So always be on the lookout for that for sure. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like button, subscribe if you're new here. If you want to stay up to date to the music and music production news, there are ways to support my channel if you want to down in the description. Consider buying something via the Plugin Boutique affiliate link. I'll see you guys next time.